Everyone thought she was strong, but no one knew she was afraid. Afraid of raising her hand in class, afraid of submitting her art, afraid of speaking her ideas, afraid of trying. Not because she wasn't capable, but because she was terrified of failing, and she believed one dangerous lie. If I fail, I am not good enough. This is the story of the girl who was afraid to fail, and how failure became the very thing that saved her. Her name was Alara. She grew up being called the smart one. Teachers praised her, relatives admired her, friends asked her for help. She always scored well, always. Followed instructions, always. Stayed within the safe lines, and that was the problem. Alara never tried anything she wasn't already good at. When her friend Maya joined the debate team, Alara said she was too busy. When her teacher suggested she enter the writing competition, she politely declined. When auditions opened for the school play, she stayed seated. She told herself she didn't care, but deep inside, she cared too. Much, because if she tried and failed, people might stop calling her the smart one, and she didn't know who she would be without that label. Fear doesn't always shout, sometimes it whispers. It whispered to her when she looked at the painting supplies in the art room. You're not that talented. It whispered when she considered answering a difficult question. What if you're wrong? It whispered when she thought about applying for a scholarship. What if they reject you? So she stayed safe. And safe slowly became small. Her world began shrinking without her realizing it, while others were discovering passions, making mistakes, growing stronger. Alara stayed in the comfort of certainty. But certainty has limits, and eventually, life pushes you to choose. It happened during her final year of school. A national essay competition was announced. The winner would receive a full university scholarship. Her English teacher, Mrs. Alvarez, handed her the form personally. I believe in you, she said gently. Alara smiled nervously. I'll think about it. At home, she stared at the form for hours. She wanted it. She wanted the opportunity, the recognition, the challenge, but her mind replayed one terrifying scenario. What if I don't win? What if I try and lose? The fear felt heavier than the dream. So she folded the paper and put it away. A week later, Mrs. Alvarez called her. After class, you didn't submit, she said softly. Alara avoided eye contact. I don't think I'm ready. Mrs. Alvarez paused. Ready for what? Alara hesitated, then whispered, what if I fail? The room fell silent. Then her teacher said something she would never forget. Alara, do you know how many times I failed before I became a teacher? Alara looked up, surprised. I failed my entrance exam twice. I was rejected from 3 universities. I was told I wasn't good enough. She smiled gently, but every failure taught me something. It shaped me. It strengthened me. She leaned closer. Failure is not a verdict, it's a lesson. Alara had never thought of it that way. To her, failure meant the end. But what if it was just the beginning? That night, Alara unfolded the form. Again, her hands were shaking, but this time she filled it out. She submitted her essay 2 hours before the deadline. And for the first time in her life, she felt terrified, not because she might fail, but because she had finally tried. The results were announced 1 month later. She didn't win. Her name was not on the list. For a moment, her worst fear came true. Her chest tightened. Her eyes burned. She felt embarrassed, small, stupid. The voice returned. See? You weren't good enough. But something unexpected happened. Instead of hiding, she reread her essay. And she saw something she had never noticed before. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. And it was brave, because she had written it. She had dared, and that mattered. Mrs. Alvarez called her again. "I'm proud of you," she said. "But I lost," Alara replied quietly. "No," her teacher corrected. "You learned." She handed her a printed copy of the judge's feedback. It included suggestions, strengths, areas to improve, constructive criticism, not condemnation. Alara realized something powerful. Failure was not an identity. It was information. It didn't say, "You are not enough." It said, "Here's how you can grow." And suddenly, failure didn't feel like a monster. It felt like a mentor. Over the next year, Alara began doing something radical. She started failing on purpose. She joined the debate team and stumbled through her first speech. She submitted artwork and received critiques. She applied for internships and received rejection emails. Each time, it hurt a little less. Each time, she learned a little more. And slowly, she changed. Not into someone fearless, but into someone brave. Because bravery isn't the absence of fear. It's action despite it. 2 years later, another opportunity appeared. A university research grant. Highly competitive. Highly prestigious. The old Alara would have walked away, but the new Alara remembered something. Failure is a teacher. So she applied, she prepared, she presented, and this time, she won. But the real victory wasn't the grant. It was the girl standing confidently in front of the panel, knowing that, even if she had lost, she would have grown. Failure is not the end. It is feedback. It is refinement. It is redirection. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than you. No. The difference is not talent. It is persistence. The willingness to fall. The courage to rise. The humility to learn. Failure doesn't mean you are not capable. It means you are trying. And trying is the birthplace of growth. If this story touched your heart, if you've ever been afraid to fail, comment below. I will try, and mean it. Share this video with someone who needs courage today, and don't forget to subscribe to Timeless Tales, where every story carries a lesson that stays with you forever.